climate communication is in a dire need of a messaging overhaul. We have seen advancements over the last several years where more people are engaged and tuned with the changes that are happening around our climate and the effects that it has on people and the planet. But when it comes to knowledge gaps and also misinformation, these type of things are still rampant within the climate communication space. This is why it's so important and paramount for marketers and communicators to take responsibility for climate communication, misinformation, and misrepresentation. To take responsibility that the communication, whether if it's sustainable and not part of your sustainable agenda within your company, any type of climate change communication is taken with an honest, transparent, ethical, and factual approach. Now, all these things are important, but the current status quo about climate communication is that it's boring, it's way too scientific, most people don't understand what it's all about, and there's a lot of doom and gloom. This is really where, when we take our climate communication from doom and gloom and scientific to climate optimism and opportunity, we have the potential and opportunity as marketers to engage more people towards climate activism, to get them involved and associated with how this will impact their life, and then overall help them make change and give them the advocacy, the intention to do something within their life. This is what's really missing within climate communication at the moment. So we have a lot of work to do as climate marketing and communicators, but I truly believe that we can do a lot of good work here. And in this video, I'm going to give you some ideas on how we can exactly do that and how we can start taking our climate communication from the scientific jargon, the boringness, and the negativity of climate doom and gloom to climate optimism. Now, hope and optimism are truly the only ingredients that you need. So keep those two words in mind as we go through this video. Hi, I'm Megan and I'm the Eco-Marketer, and I put people and the planet at the center focus of all my marketing campaigns. On my YouTube channel, I talk about everything sustainability marketing, and sustainable travel. I hope you like and subscribe to my video, but also to my channel so that you always know when the next videos are going to be uploaded and ready to be viewed. So back to this video. Let's talk about climate and communication in a way that marketers probably most likely understand. As marketers, we understand the marketing funnel, the customer journey, how an individual, the person that you're selling to, that you're communicating with, pretty much goes from the awareness stage where they don't really know much about their problem or their challenges, all the way to the activation stage where they're actually making the intention to purchase your product and they're researching the differences between your competitor. And that's really the sweet spot where you can bring your product and your brand forward. Now, as marketers, we understand this terminology, marketing funnel, customer journey. Now let's take that idea and put it within the context of people who are trying to engage with climate. So in the beginning, we have individuals that, let's take the climate deniers out of the equation. In the beginning, we have people who maybe they've heard a little bit about climate change. They can see that it's maybe an important issue, but they lack education, they lack understanding of what it is. The type of information they're receiving isn't engaging enough, and the people in the community around them maybe isn't encouraging them to activate with that topic. And then at the end of the journey, you have people more like me who are relevant with the information and the data and the science and the regulations and everything that's coming out within the world. We are engaged with the topic every single day. We're really the knowledge holders. We understand what's happening. There's some climate negativism that comes with that, and we struggle with a lot of things there. But this is really the opposite of the spectrum. And this is still a very small portion of people within the global population of citizens, more specifically in the northern global north, which is where I'm pulling this data and this knowledge from. So these people are engaged, they understand the science, they want to make action, and they might already be making active actions. So I want to focus your attention on the people more towards the beginning of their climate understanding journey. So they're the ones who aren't the climate deniers. We're more looking at the people who maybe they have an understanding of what could be happening, but they basically lack knowledge specifics. They don't have the direct understanding of some of the most basic knowledge in terms that supports the overall understanding of how our climate is changing and how it's affecting not just our planet and the biodiversity, but also the people and even the community and them individually. So as an eco-marketer, this is one of your most important agendas in your craft to becoming an eco-marketer, is using your creative talents to educate and inspire everyday citizens, bring awareness to important climate topics. We really want to start bridging the gap in between this learning deficit and understanding how people are going to be impacted on climate change to how they can actually make meaningful action. And the best way to do this is not to use doom and gloom and negativity and science and jargon, but positivity, storytelling, and future painting the world of how it could be in a positive and optimistic way. Now, to give you a brief example, I think one of the most easiest ways to kind of think about this is right now there's a lot of communication, visual and written communication out there where we talk about climate change in a very negative nature. So think polar bears on a single piece of ice who look like they're going to drown. Think about people walking through the floods, very negative weather impact, this type of imagery, starvation, negative just in general. Where this type of messaging and communication does have an impact and where with a certain amount of people, it can push activation. The fact is, this is a very small portion of people, and the way that humans actually think is we don't like change and we don't want to embrace change because change can be messy, it could be hurtful, and many times we can lose out. So this is the challenge of the modern marketer, the eco-marketer, on how they can start reversing these narratives to make climate change as an opportunity, one that is for wonderful and radical optimism. So let's talk about climate optimism messaging. It's crucial for marketers and communicators to use this type of messaging in their ongoing sustainability campaigns, but even their campaigns in general. I don't want to close it off that whenever you're just talking about sustainability within your company, that you drop the doom and gloom and use climate optimism. That's really important. But how can you use climate optimism in your everyday marketing communication campaigns? That is really the creative and fun challenge that we need to tackle. So here are 3 ways that you can use climate optimism in your upcoming work. Focus on the effective solution. There are so many good things happening right now in the climate movement. Effective solution. The scale up of renewable energy is one of the easiest topics to talk about. In the last year, we've seen entire nations go hours, days, weeks, almost totally on renewable energy. This is a wonderful and positive thing. If we use this type of messaging of things that are actually happening, it gives people hope that we can keep doing that and we can keep doing more. Focus on people-centric climate messages. Use data and climate data and also human data and social data to champion social justice and also just the overall benefit of making this transition process. When you talk about these things within the context of climate communication, create the lens as a positive benefit to the people that you're talking about. Again, in a marketing playbook, we're really talking about buyer personas. If you're talking to a business leader, professional, or investor, how can you take your climate optimism messages and talk about that in a way that is meaningful to them? So maybe it's talking about how there is going to be a scale up of positive green investment over the next coming years, or how there is going to be more opportunities for scaling up service solutions because of the green energy transition. So focus these positive messages of green and sustainable future around the people who you're talking to. Lastly, focus on people, projects, and the actual processes that are working within your local community and also the global community. People love and latch on to inspiring and wonderful stories. And there are a lot of stories like this happening right now at the moment, but they're just not being talked about enough. So this is another way that you can champion climate optimism as a marketer, is find these stories of climate optimism and positivity that are happening within your community and actively talk about them as use cases, as inspiring social media content, etc. Use positivity and storytelling to help paint this better world. So I hope you like this video. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel. I have a lot of great content coming up. I'm going to actually be switching gears and we're going to be talking more about national parks in the United States and biodiversity and nature stories within those parks, because I'm going on an epic and exciting trip in the upcoming months. And my next video, I'm going to tell you all about that and what we will actually be doing. So stay tuned. Have a good one.